Ashfield House reception. Oh, yes, oh, certainly, sir. Oh, yes, I received your message. I made a note of it, 2:30. Thank you, sir.
Just look at them all. Anybody would think there was only one man left on earth and they all had to get to him first.
Will you wait for your husband, Mrs. Powers, or will you come with me?
Oh, I think I'll come with you. Oh, Bambi. Aren't they all thin?
Are you eating those cornflakes or counting them?
Counting them. I'm on a diet.
Oh, that's why you didn't eat your supper last night.
Partly. I've cut your sandwiches. They're on the whole table.
Egg and cress.
Garlic sausage.
Garlic sausage? What are you trying to do, Nora? Ward off evil spirits?
No, ward off that girl in the typing pool.
Which girl in the typing pool?
All of them.
Oh,
Don't you owe Nora me. I saw them last night. They were all over you like bees round a honey pot.
Flies round a dustbin, more like. I'm old enough to be the granddad.
Well, what difference does that make? How old was Cyril Watkins when he left his wife and ran off with that beautician?
54?
71. And how old was she?
17.
Oh, yes, you haven't forgotten that, have you? 17, and don't tell me she'd never been kissed.
Nora, the mood you're in this morning, I wouldn't tell you anything.
Anne Boleyn was little more than a child when Henry VIII rolled green sleeves for her.
Nora, have I ever been unfaithful to you?
Oh, you tell me.
All right, I will. No, I haven't. Why are you looking at me like that?
I haven't forgotten that Mrs. Baxendale.
Well, I have. Who the heck was Mrs. Baxendale?
Oh, you remember, a charming woman. We met her at that bargain break at Barnstaple.
Bargain break? Oh, Thelma.
I didn't know her name was Thelma.
You didn't know she had a mole on her left breast?
No, I did not.
Nor a birthmark on her right buttock. It's all coming back to me now.
Oh, George.
And the funniest thing of all, you'll laugh at this, Nora.
Oh, will I?
She used to shout out pineapple whenever she got excited.
Why pineapple?
Raspberries brought her out in a rash.
Yeah. Soft fruit does a... Oh, you're winding me up.
Is that key in your back? I can't resist it. Nora, I think your mole's in a much nicer place. Coming, Thelma.
There's a tin of pineapple chunks in the larder.
What I still don't quite understand...
Yes?
How did he know her name was Thelma? And how did he know she had a...
I don't suppose her name was Thelma. And I don't suppose she had a... He was teasing me, Bambi. Teasing me.
Oh, I see.
I hope you do see. We've been at this for over an hour. He was paying me back for being silly about the girls in the typing pool.
Well, of course, I don't think you were being silly.
And I know I was. You see, what you don't understand, Bambi, is the love and trust that exists between a husband and wife.
The current divorce rate is 1 in 4.
And aren't you thrilled?
Oh, what's that?
It's a little token of my love and trust for George.
What is it?
Egg and cress sandwiches. Which I'd better get down to him before he starts on the garlic sausage.
You know you're seeing Mr. Lomax at 11.
Lomax? Lomax?
Here we are. Lomax Leslie. You think he's a possible cost accountant?
Oh, I think he's a probable cost accountant. Excellent references and a CV as long as your arm. I tell you what, when he arrives, get the sherry out.
What if he doesn't drink?
Then he doesn't get the job.
But if Mr. Mundy likes him...
Oh, then get the champagne out. I've been trying to fill this position for 18 months. Come in.
Morning.
Good morning, Tracy. What can we do for you?
Message from Phyllis Farquhar. She says, have you forgotten there's a Mr. Lomax coming in at 11 to see Mr. Mundy?
Well, of course we haven't forgotten, have we, Miss Bamber?
No, of course we haven't.
Oh, good. Then you better tell her, because she thought you must have, because his file isn't on her desk.
Well, why should it be?
Well, I don't know, do I? Don't take it out on me. God, it was never like this at Saatchi & Saatchi.
All right, Tracy, you can go.
I it's okay. I've nothing better to do.
Phyllis? This is Nora. Look, what's all this about the Lomax file? Well, it won't be, will it? Because it's on my desk. Well, I don't know anything about a memo. What memo?
Oh.
Excuse me, Phyllis. Oh, what?
Well, basically, oh dear. One memo. I think I'll pop along.
You pop where you are. Oh, Phyllis, I'm so sorry. Our mistake. Quite. Oh, yes. Yes. Look, I've said I'm sorry, Phyllis. I'm not going on a sponsored crawl. I'll have the Lomax file in your office immediately. Have a nice day. You do realise, don't you, you've made me look an absolute fool in front of Phyllis Farquhar.
Hey?
This memo was timed at 09:30.
Well, it's only 10:30 now. I mean, we're not in the War Office, are we?
No, and isn't that lucky? If this had been the 4-minute warning, we'd all have been dead for 56 minutes. Now, here's the Lomax file, and I would appreciate it, Tracy, if it could be with Miss Farquhar during the reign of the current monarch.
It will. I'll do it straight after my break. Thank you, Mrs. Powers.
That file is confidential, Tracy.
I know, it says. But I've got to make sure I've got the right one, haven't I? We don't want any more mistakes, do we? Ooh,
What?
he's only 46.
Oh, and this'll make your day. He's unmarried.
Oh, he's not.
Well, I thought you'd be thrilled.
I don't know why. I mean, that's all we need, isn't it? A gay in accounts.
What a thing to say, with not a scrap of evidence.
Well, 46 and unmarried. One can't help wondering.
Oh, you're as bad as she is, always jumping to conclusions. People are innocent, Bambi, until they're proved guilty. That's one of the basics of British justice. What was I going to do before Tracy came in?
Take those sandwiches to your husband and say you're sorry you jumped to conclusions.
Oh, yes. And Bambi, you're 46 and unmarried.
Your taxi is waiting, sir.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, sir.
George,
Mrs. Powers?
what did that man just give you?
Oh, only 50p.
Only to... Are you in the habit of accepting gratuities? Oh, George, how does it feel when a total stranger presses 50p into your hand?
Well, to be honest, I'm disappointed. It's usually a quid. What can I do for you, madam?
You can accept these.
Oh, thank you. What is it?
I've made you egg and cress.
Oh, you didn't.
But I thought you wanted egg and cress.
Well, that's before I bought myself some egg and tomato.
Oh, you did.
Oh, there you go. There's my garlic sausage.
Oh, George.
Well, don't worry. They'll all find their way to a good home.
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry, madam. Excuse me, madam. Yes, madam?
I'm looking for Ashfield advertising.
Ashfield Advertising,
I
certainly.
don't believe it.
Pardon?
It is you, isn't it?
Well,
Of course it is. I know you anyway.
madam, I think you're making a
Well,
mistake.
don't say you don't know me.
Well, I...
But of course you don't. You've never seen me with my clothes on. What a lovely, lovely surprise.
No, I've never seen you with your clothes off, madam.
And there she was, all over him like an octopus.
But who is she?
I've no idea.
She didn't, by any chance, shout pineapple.
I didn't wait to find out. Never seen her with her clothes on.
We live in a sick society.
Speak for yourself. Come in.
Mrs. Powers, I've got... Oh, are you all right?
Oh, magical, thank you.
Oh, good, because your 11 o'clock appointment's here.
Oh, no.
Would you like me to deal with it?
Oh, no, thank you, Miss Bamber. I'll cope. Show him in, Tracy.
Oh, before I
No,
do...
just show him in, Tracy.
Okay. She'll see you now.
Mrs. Powers, Leslie Lomax.
I'm not surprised.
It is the 14th, isn't it? I mean, you were expecting me.
Yeah, well, oh, you better sit down.
The thing is, Mr. Lomax, we weren't expecting a lady.
And another thing is, Mr. Lomax, I'm not at all sure we've got one.
I beg your pardon.
I said I'm not...
I heard what you said. I'd like to know what you meant.
I was there, you know.
What do you mean? You were there? Where?
Downstairs in the foyer.
When?
When you hurled yourself at my husband.
I wish I knew what you were talking about. I've never laid eyes on your husband.
Oh, then how come you were laying everything else on him not 5 minutes ago?
Mrs. Powers, don't tell me you're married to the commissioner.
She is.
Chief Commissioner. And why not?
I'm telling myself I really didn't want this job anyway. Make my apologies to Mr. Mundy, will you, and tell him I'm sorry I wasted his time.
Just a minute. Before I do, don't you think you ought to make your apologies to me?
What for?
What for? For kissing my husband, that's what for.
Well, yes, I do apologize for that, but it was a genuine mistake.
Oh, really?
I know you won't believe me, but I thought he was somebody else.
And whom did you think he was?
Oh, a dear old man I met on holiday a year or two ago.
A bargain break in Barnstaple.
No, 2 weeks in Barbados. He was terribly kind to my mother. I'm afraid I neglected her shamefully. I was lying on the beach all day soaking up the sun.
Topless?
Of course. It was wonderful. But poor mother would have been terribly lonely if it hadn't been for James.
The dear old man.
Yes.
And he looked like my husband, did he, this dear old man?
Well, only till I put these on. I ought to wear them all the time, but they don't suit me.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I think they make you look very distinguished.
I know they do. Like Robin Day.
What is it, Tracy?
Well,
Well,
what was it? Powder puffs at 20 paces? Or did you kiss and make up?
Is she talking about downstairs?
yes.
How did she know?
Oh, my dear Miss Lomax, if you come to work here, which I'm sure we all hope you will, you'll soon discover that very little escapes the typing pool.
Your Georgie must have thought it was Christmas morning. We've all been killing ourselves out there.
Have you? Any dead?
Well, don't, because Sharon's not well.
You wanted to see me, Tracy?
Yes. Miss Farquhar wants to know what's happened to Mr. Lomax. Shall I say a sex change?
You're such a wag. No.
Miss Farquhar.
Oh, she's Mr. Mundy's girl Friday.
Oh, I'd hate to see her in a grass skirt. Anyway, she's blowing frost, so shall I take her through?
Do that, Tracy. Have a nice interview, Miss Lomax.
Thank you, Mrs. Powers.
I don't think she will. Mr. Mundy's in depression. Would you like to spend a penny before you go in?
Tracy.
Oh, she might be nervous. And you won't want to be caught short, will you?
That'll do, Tracy. Good luck, Miss Lomax.
Thank you, Mrs. Powers. Perhaps I'll see you later.
Wouldn't that be nice?
And I'm very sorry about it.
Oh, don't give it another thought.
This way.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Sex change and blowing froth and called short.
Miss Lomax is nice, though, isn't she? I mean, really nice.
I worry about you sometimes. But yes, she is quite charming. Pity she won't get the job.
Oh, don't you think she will?
I'll make damn sure she doesn't.
But didn't you believe her about the dear old man in Barnstaple?
Barbados. And yes, of course, I believed her. If anybody was telling the truth, she was telling it then. I was really sorry I'd been so hostile.
Then why don't you want her to get the job?
Oh, don't be so simple. It's as plain as your face. I mean, it's staring you in the nose. Well, what I mean is, I don't want her to get the job because she kissed my husband.
By mistake.
Well, what difference does that make? She kissed him, and she'll do it again and again. Once a woman kisses my George, she keeps coming back for more.
Really?
Yes, and don't you get any idea. The sooner that woman's out of the building, the happier I shall be. Oh, Phyllis, Nora here. I've made a terrible mistake. Yes, another one. Well, so did I see she was a woman as soon as she came through the door. Look, put me through to Mr. Munday. She's totally unsuitable in every way, and I want to tell him so before he... He's what? He's cancelled all calls for at least an hour and sent out for champagne and 2 glasses. Yes? Come in.
Do I need my anti-riot shield?
Oh, no, it wasn't your fault.
Dumbo, I want a witness to that.
It's Bambi, and I wasn't listening.
I didn't know what to hit me down there, you know.
No, I could see that from the way you thrust her to one side.
Well, I couldn't be rude, could I, Nora?
Oh, well, it's very nice of you to come up and say sorry.
Oh, I didn't come up to say I'm sorry. Came up with my sandwiches.
But you are sorry, aren't you?
What for?
Mr. Powers, George, Mrs. Powers has the idea that once a woman kisses you, she's yours forever.
I didn't mean it like that, Bambi. I didn't mean it like that at all.
It's what you said.
Oh, there may be some truth in what you say. And I'm perfectly willing to be the subject of a survey. I tell you what, Dumbo, you can be the first in a series of uncontrolled experiments.
What do you mean?
I'll show you. Now can I have my lunch?
Why not? You've had your starters. Here's your main course.
And that's why there's crumbs all over the carpet.
Yes.
Wow. How long did it last?
The kids. Oh, not long. She threw the sandwiches.
Cow.
Tracy, he is our husband after all.
Well, it won't be for long the rate she's going. She's acting like a woman obsessed. And I wouldn't care, but old Georgie's not exactly Sting, is he?
Sting.
Good afternoon, Miss Bamber. Did you want me, Tracy?
No.
Then what are you doing in my office?
Well, basically finishing my lunch break. Oh, well, back to the salt mines. He was her man, but he was doing her wrong.
Did you enjoy your lunch, Mrs. Powers?
I wasn't hungry.
Oh. Well, perhaps you'll enjoy your supper all the more.
Perhaps I will.
I only had a salad myself,
Really?
but I did have a slice of apple pie.
How homely. Are we going to talk about food all afternoon? Or can we get some work done?
I don't think I can work, Mrs. Powers, not in this atmosphere.
What atmosphere?
I didn't mean to kiss your husband. I didn't want to kiss your husband.
Oh, that atmosphere.
And anyway, I didn't kiss your husband. He kissed me to annoy you.
And he succeeded. What did he do after I went out?
Well, he picked up his sandwiches and went for his lunch.
Were they all covered with fluff? Oh, I blame that woman.
Miss Lomax?
Yes. Oh, bring me her file, Bambi. I better start drawing up her contract. I don't think I shall put her up for the pension scheme. It's hardly worth it at her age.
I don't have her file. Tracy took it through to Phyllis Farquhar.
Oh, so she did. Oh, will you run and get it for me? There's a love.
Friends again.
Of course. Though I'd rather we didn't have a sickening scene.
So would I. I'll get that file.
Oh. Come in.
Sue Ellen's back.
Sue Ellen,
Are you in?
what do I look like?
Don't tempt me. Miss Ellie will see you now.
That girl's got to... Oh, Miss Lomax, I'm glad you came. I'm just drawing up your contract.
Then I can save you the trouble. I'm not taking the job, Mrs. Powers.
You're not... Oh, it's nothing to do with what happened this morning, I hope.
What happened this morning? Oh, no. I'd forgotten all about that.
So had I. But then why aren't you joining us?
Frankly, I've had a better offer. More money, longer holidays, a non-contributory pension scheme.
Who's making this offer? And are there any more vacancies?
If you really mean that, Mrs. Powers, I shall be needing an assistant.
Oh, and you consider me? What a pity I'm not free. Goodbye. So nice to have met you.
Goodbye.
Mrs. Powers, I just... Oh, hello, Miss Lomax.
Hello, and goodbye.
Bambi, you'll never guess what's happened.
She's not taking the job.
She's not... How did you know?
Tracy told me.
Oh, that girl's got this room bugged. She must have.
What are these?
Oh, that stupid woman's left her gloves.
Shall I take them down and leave them with George?
Oh, yes. No, thank you. I'll take them down and leave them with George. I'll ask him what he wants for his supper. Oh, fluff all over his sandwiches. Poor Lord.
So we won't be meeting again.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Miss Lomax. May I say I hope you'll be very happy wherever you're going.
Thank you, Mr. Powers. I'm not going far. Wellington House.
Oh, very upmarket. Did you know the commissionaire there wears a top hat?
I also know he's about to retire. So if you feel like a change, I'm sure I could pull a few strings.
Yes, that's very kind of you, but I think I'm well enough suited here, thanks all
Tell
the
you
same.
what, here's my card. So if you should change your mind, you only have to give me a ring.
Oh, I'm glad I caught you, Miss Lomax. You forgot these. They're beautiful, aren't they?
Present from a client.
A grateful one, I'm sure.
Very.
I thought so. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You can stop smiling now, Nora. She's gone.
And good riddance, she's no better than she should be. Topless in Barbados, forsooth. What was that she gave you?
Her card.
A card? Why did she give you a card?
Oh, believe it or not, she was headhunting me.
Head? Oh, you're a real babe in the wood, you. It wasn't your head she was hunting. What did you tell her?
The truth.
What was that?
That I was well enough suited here, thank you.
Oh, and did he really mean it?
Nora, 1,000 wild horses wouldn't drag me from your side.
Oh, now you're just being silly. Now, what do you want for your supper?
Pineapple.
With a nice bit of gum. Oh. Do you play your cards right? You never know your luck.
And you can enjoy more comedy with Mollie Sugden this Thursday at 5:30 in That's My Boy.